What's going on, everyone? I'm Scarzleone, and welcome to my Monarch deck profile. Alright, so this is the Monarch deck I've been using since the ban list that came out near the end of August last year. So let's just jump right in. We're going to start with the spells and traps. So the only trap I run is the Prime because I don't really need many of the others, even though I probably should. But this allows you to shuffle in two of your spells and traps from your grave into your deck and get a draw one. So it allows you to recycle usage of your spells and traps if they get destroyed and get you that draw power that you need. While it is in the grave, you can banish one other Monarch spell or trap card and then summon it as a monster in defense position. The good thing about this is it can't be MST'd because it's not treated as a monster or a trap card. So it can help you get off some real power plays if you need to. Next up, obvious pick for me is Domain, 3 of them. If you control a tribute summon monster and your opponent does not, it allows you to shut out your opponent's extra deck. They cannot special summon from it at all. If you have no cards in your extra deck, so trade off. If a tribute summon monster you control were to attack an opponent's monster, it gains 800 attack during damage calculation. This can help you get over some monsters who are usually bigger than your monsters. Its last effect allows you to reduce the level of a 2800 1000 defense monster by 2 until the end of the turn. It can help you use one tribute to get out a monster that normally requires 2. Next up we have Return. This can help you cycle through your monarchs and tribute summons relatively quickly and allow you to power through your deck and get to the cards you really need. March, I believe, is an underrated card. It can protect your tribute summon monsters from being targeted and or destroyed. So it can protect you from Raigeki or Dark Hole. It has saved my monsters a lot of times and wasted their Raigekis. Stormforce and Soul Exchange. Both of these help you use your opponent's monsters as tribute fodder for your own stuff. The only downside of Soul Exchange is it targets, so it doesn't get around those monsters that can't be targeted by card effects. Stormforth, however, can, and that's why it's sort of limited. Being able to get around to tribute any monster without giving a flying rat's ass is great. Also, can't use your extra deck, which is most of the spell and trap support for Monarchs. Tenacity. This allows you to search for a Monarch spell or trap card from your deck and add it to your hand. You can only activate one per turn, which is very understandable. But the downside is you're revealing one of your plays in your hand. Fiend Sanctuary is a personal choice for me. It allows me to get out a quick token to tribute. It's my replacement for Pantheism at the moment, just because I'm waiting on the next ban list for the for real fill-ins for Pantheism. Pantheism is limited for a very good reason. Being able to discard to draw 2 is great. Combine that with Prime, you're able to shuffle in whatever you discard back into the deck and draw another one. So you have a +3 and you've lost nothing, because Pantheism then can banish itself and you can reveal 3 spell or trap cards and your opponent chooses one of them. The reason that this is limited is because it is just really powerful, and if you can time it right, you can get off a +6 play with it. The other good thing about it is that the reveal 3 does not say that it has to be of different names, so you could reveal 3 of the same card and be a real asshole, but that way you're guaranteed you're getting what you want. Next up we have the tribute fodder. First up we have Idea. Idea, when she is normal or special summon, you can special summon a vassal or another squire except Idea from the deck. And the only other squire is Eidos, so not much going on there. But also you cannot use your extra deck this turn. When she is sent to the graveyard, she can return one of your banished spell or traps back to the hand. So this can allow you to bring back Pantheism and discard again to draw another 2, which is really, really mean. Alright, next up, not the Stalos. Next up we have Eidos. Eidos, when he is normal or special summoned, you can make a tribute summon in addition to your normal summon / set. This can allow you to turn 1, normal summon him, and still get your tribute summon off. When he is in grave, you can banish him, and then summon out, special summon from your grave a vassal or a squire, or another Idea, which can allow you to bring out another Eidos from your deck. He's good at being able to get out the megas relatively quickly, or any Monarch incredibly fast, especially on turn 1. I run 3 of all of my tribute fodder for good reason. It helps balance out the deck, and all of them. These are the 3 that I like to play the most out of all of the vassals. So next up we have Mithra. Mithra, during your main phase, you can, by sacrificing using your extra deck, you can special summon her, but you give your opponent a token. But she can allow you to make another quick tribute summon. In addition to that, when she is tributed for a tribute summon, you can make a tribute summon in addition to your normal summon / set. So, if you use her effect to special summon her, and then tribute summon, you can make another tribute summon that turn. If you combine her with return, when you make your tribute summon, you can search out another thing that you really needed instead, and then you can tribute summon that monster out as well. Alright, so next up we have the weird monarchs, the duo Kuraz and Delg. Some people run 2 of one of them. I run 1 of each because both have their ups and downs, but they're still somewhat useful. For both of them, if they are during the turn they are normal or special summon, they can't attack, which is not usually what you want to do with monarchs, but it still gives you a wall for next turn. Both of them have an effect that triggers when they are normal or special summoned. Both can target up to 2 cards, and both do something in relation to those 2 cards. Delg banishes from the grave and mills from their deck. Banishing can be useful. It can get rid of some plays that trigger while in the grave. However, the milling might set up more plays for a graveyard-based deck. Kuraz, he can destroy up to 2 cards on the field, and each player can draw 1 for each of those cards if they control a card that was destroyed by his effect. The useful thing about this is, you can pop maybe your Prime Monarch and get a draw, and then special summon it for more tribute fodder. Or you can get rid of some big plays your opponent has out. In downside, you're giving them draw power. However, if the player does forget that they can draw, then they forfeit the draw and you got a free destruction. Alright, so let's get to the Stalos. We'll get to the non-Monarch monsters in a little bit, but the Stalos is, I only run 2 of because he's useful, but not the one I want to be drawing the most of. But he does discard a card randomly from your opponent's hand, and if it is a monster, they take 100 times its level, which that little bit of damage can make the difference, but you're still getting rid of a card that is in their hand that could possibly be a power play. Caius is an obvious one. Being able to banish a card on the field is great, and if it was a dark monster, they take 1,000 damage. If you have to, you can banish Caius himself and still get that 1,000 damage in. We have Aether, Mega Caius, and Erebus, all 2800 attack, 1000 defense monsters at 8 stars, so they work with Domain's last effect of being able to reduce their level by 2. Aether is at 1 for obvious reasons. He's limited for a very good reason. Being able to set up a massive field to kill your opponent is helpful. All 3 of these you can tribute summon by using a tribute summoned monster. So if you have a Caius or a Thestalos out, you can tribute them to bring these guys out instead of needing 2 tributes. Aether, when she is tribute summoned, you can send 2 spell or trap cards with different names from hand and or deck to the grave. And if you do, you can special summon a Monarch from your deck, but it returns to hand during the end phase. She works really well in tandem with Kuraz and Delg, since their effects do trigger when they are special summoned. So say your opponent activates a Call of the Haunted, you can immediately bring out Delg with Aether because of Aether's second effect. During your opponent's main phase, if this card is in your hand, you can banish 1 Monarch spell or trap from grave. Immediately after this effect resolves, tribute summon this monster. This is a quick effect. So you're able to, in response to cards activating, use Aether's second effect to tribute summon her, which can allow you to make counter plays and destroy cards on the field before they can be used. Or in grave if you're summoning out Delg. So like if they activate Call of the Haunted and they target something, activate Aether, bring out Delg, banish that, they no longer have a target. Erebus can spin a card from hand at random, grave, or their side of the field into the deck. It does not target, so it gets around untargetable monsters for the same price of sending 2 Monarch spell or trap cards with different names from hand and or deck to the grave. His second effect allows you to recycle Monarchs from the grave and bring them back to hand at the cost of a Monarch spell or trap card discard. And then we have Mega Caius, my favorite. He is able to banish a card and they take 1,000 damage no matter what. If you tribute a dark monster, you can target up to 2 cards target 2 cards instead. The kicker is, if he banishes a dark monster, they lose all copies of that monster from anywhere in the game, from hand, main deck, extra deck, and grave. They lose all copies. So this can allow you to really shut down decks that are dark heavy. Dark Magicians is a great example. DDDs is a great example. Being able to just completely shut out your opponent from really big plays is really nice and very helpful. Alright, on to the non-Monarch Monarchs. We have Vanity's Fiend and Majesty's Fiend. Majesty's Fiend can hinder you. Both cannot be special summoned. Both are 2400. Majesty's Fiend has 1000 attack, 1000 defense, and Vanity's Fiend has 1200 defense. So Majesty's Fiend can be searched out with Return, and can be revealed with Tenacity to search. Majesty's Fiend can hinder you. Both require only 1 tribute, but Majesty's Fiend can hinder you since monster effects can't be activated, so you can't use your Vassal effects, you can't use your Squire effects. But it's a great turn 1 play because it can shut out your opponent from being able to run you over if you don't have a standard Monarch play. Or if you just want to, if you have a field set up already, it's a great closer because then they can't clear out your field with a stupid monster effect. Next up, Vanity's Fiend. Again, can't be special summoned, requires 1 tribute. Neither player can special summon monsters while he is on the field, which can hurt, but this deck has enough plays around that it doesn't need to special summon as much. Like you have Eidos. Eidos' effect to give you an additional tribute summon is also when he's normal summon, so it doesn't hurt too much. But again, it's a great turn 1 play or a great closing play because it shuts your opponent out from being able to combo if you don't have a usual play, or if you have a full field and you don't want to get run over by a really big monster. For the extra deck, we don't have one, as you can see. The reason we don't have one is because a lot of the tribute fodder and the Monarch spell and trap support says you can't special summon from your extra deck. Also, with Vanity's Fiend, it's kind of hard to. But I prefer to have no extra deck and rely on the main deck is because the main deck has enough stopping power and response that you shouldn't need to rely on the extra deck with a build like this. Also, the Monarch spell and trap support is what makes Monarchs a fucking terrifying deck. Just the amount of support that they have in the back row can make them a powerhouse and just wreck face with all of their cards. So it saves on expenses on the deck, and it allows you to really tap in to the support that the Monarchs have gotten throughout the sets. Also, Domain kind of can't have cards in your extra deck to go off, so that's also a good thing. There's no side deck in this deck because, well, in my build anyway, because this build just has a lot of responses to stuff anyway, so it doesn't really need anything. What I would say is I could side deck some MSTs or back row destruction in case of Zombie World or Mask of Restrict, because that does stop Monarchs very heavily. But yeah, this is my own personal Monarch deck, and I hope you'll enjoy it. Tell me what you think down in the comments, and until next time, I'm Scars Leone, and I hope you all have a wonderful day.